octagon.
He's always there every single Saturday, and he's always giving it 100%, and he's always making the fight exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, so Dave, so since you're talking about adding accessories, I have a suggestion. I was at BKFC 41 in Denver. Donald Cerrone was there without his beard. People didn't recognize him without his beard. So could we get a removable beard for the cowboy on a bobblehead?
But the problem with that, Matthew, and I didn't even know that was going to be the stupid question of the day, is if you take the beard off and then you don't know it's Donald Cerrone, why would you buy the Donald Cerrone figurine / bobblehead?
Well, guys, it's not a horrible idea, but I'll tell you what, that might come behind what I'm working on now, which is a Naked Pizza Man accessory full pizzas. I'm working on a pepperoni and a Hawaiian.
I love it. It's controversial because people think that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
I think this interview or this chat is now.
I love the start of the show, Dave. This is the way we should start every week at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock.
All right, so I just lied. The start of the show will not be very good. It is not going to make me very happy.
But Dave, on a serious note, though, I know you started with the UFC and you've been loyal to the UFC, but BKFC is a rising star. Have you thought about doing any kind of bare knuckle figurines?
I haven't, to be honest with you. I mean, my plate is full with these fighters. As you guys know, these take about 9-10 months up to a year and a half to make. So I kind of have a backlog, so to speak, and it's only like maybe 2 or 3 fighters, but it's hard. They're hard to make, but the BKFC is an up and coming rising sport, and I would definitely look into it.
All right, before we run out of time, and we could do a whole 2-hour show just talking with you about everything. I'm curious, and I was arguing with Chuckles across the table from me, who never stops long enough to A, think, or B, listen. I'm not going to necessarily ask you first who you thought won in the Sterling Cejudo fight. What I do want to know from you, if you remember, who did you think won round 5?
That's the easiest round to judge by far. How could Cleary get that wrong? I mean, it was like everyone in the world saw that Sterling took the round off, which I couldn't believe. I had a wager on Sterling. I was pulling out the rest of the hair that I have on my head left. Even with him losing the 5th round, I had Sterling winning 3-2.
Okay, but and like I've said before, I've said it on Facebook, I've said it on Twitter, I said it to Chuckles. I'm not going to argue or disagree with Sterling winning the fight. I had Henry Cejudo winning. That's immaterial. What I find important is Helen Keller could have scored round 5 correctly.
Yes.
And
that's the problem we have right now, Randy, is like these outlier judges who make these outlier decisions that affect lives and millions of dollars. It's crazy to me how Cleary gave that round. Surely, what was he thinking? These judges should be held a little bit more accountable. I'm not saying, hold their feet to the fire, but maybe, come out with a statement or something on the reasoning, because we're going to ride off into the sunset as UFC MMA fans, never knowing what the heck was going on in between his ears.
Right, and I don't want to mention which judges, but I reached out to a couple judges in the past, and they were told not to respond. Let it go. And that's fine. I'm a judge as well. I don't know that I've ever made a mistake, but if I did, I wouldn't have a problem, giving why I did whatever. And it's funny, and I've said this before as well. When I've judged, the first thing that I don't want to hear is by split decision. And then I'm thinking, I hope I'm on the 2 and not the 1, because, I want to be right. But if I am wrong, or if they are wrong, in not wrong, but you know what I mean, they should be able to at least answer a question. Why did? You obviously have a reason why you did or didn't. And what I told Matt earlier, I didn't care who won. I've talked to both. Henry did the Super Bowl show. But when it comes down to it, I want the right person to win and the right person to lose. And if Cleary gave Henry Cejudo round 5 that everyone on planet Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and every other country planet gave to Henry Cejudo, he wins that fight, his legacy continues on and on and on and on and on. And that's why I hate when there's blatant mistakes in my eyes.
Yeah, because that one round, one score changes kind of, MMA lore and destiny forever. Because you're exactly right. Now Henry is the champion, maybe goes up to featherweight, and, who knows, the first time ever of, a 4-seed, comes about. But, yeah, I can't stand that, Randy. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm still mad over the Jared Gordon-Paddy Pimblett decision. That was ridiculous, too.
Yeah, it was. There's been a lot of blatantly bad ones, but that's the problem. There is no, set criteria.
But couldn't we do it like horse racing or like NASCAR, where it's not an official decision until everybody has a chance to review the scorecards and actually maybe make the judges watch a close round again to rescore it. After that, before you make it an official verdict.
Yeah, I'm against that.
But if you get backlash of so much from the fans and from the people that know.
Then you replace these judges.
So they do instant replay for baseball and other sports to get it right.
Naked pizza. That sounds like a recipe for an absolute riot in the arena. Yeah. If they announce one winner and then they say, "Oh, you know what? Wait a minute, we had a little second change of mind here. The other guy wins."
And again, as a judge, and I keep throwing it out, not that I'm better than anybody else, but as a judge, we're looking at different things. We're not looking as a fan. We're looking as a judge. You literally would have to rewatch the entire round or the entire fight again. Because one thing could be the difference in winning that round. So you'd have to watch the whole thing again.
Randy, what do you think about this? And I know you have to go. What do you think about this? An experimental open scoring. Maybe not for the main card, maybe not even for the prelim, maybe for the early prelims, a couple fights of the card, open scoring, just to see how it works.
I'm for it. I would like it. I know that when people have been against it, it's because, what we all think Sterling did in round 5 is if you're up, then you are going to do that. But at least if you're not up and you think you are, Sterling wouldn't have coasted in that round 5. He might have gone on to dominate round 5, and then all this controversy would be gone. But I'm okay with open scoring. I absolutely am.
Yeah, and another caveat to that is maybe give the fighters an option to have open scoring. If both fighters would like it, then do it. If one says no, then it's a no.
Yeah, see, and the problem with that is one says no, one says yes. Then you're going to have a fight before the fight.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can't. It's kind of like when I went to dinner last night with my 3-year-old. I'm sorry, in case Disney's listening. My 2-year-old granddaughter, and we ordered her food, and then I said, "Is that what you wanted?" When she said no, what could I do? Instead of just doing it, you either just go and do it, or you don't go and do it. And she will be 3 shortly. So, in case they're listening, I'm not trying to pull in.
Randy, I'm excited to see you during International Fight Week. It's my favorite week of the year, and I can't wait to count down the day.
And Dana just announced that this will be Robbie Lawler's last fight. I have problems with that as well. I only have another couple minutes, but I'll voice it to you as I'll voice it later. I never like when a fighter has already announced his retirement before the fight.
Yeah, that's a very rare situation, though.
Well, it's rare in that it's been announced, but how many times have fighters, Teixeira, whoever just retired recently, they know beforehand. Masvidal. They know they're retiring, so did they 100% train? Did they 100% mind, body, and soul? When you've already thought about retirement, when you've already made the announcement or made the announcement in your own head, you're already out of it. You've already retired. And that's the problem with making those decisions before the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't know that. You just broke some news for me, so it breaks my heart a little bit. Robbie Lawler is one of my favorite fighters. I can't wait to watch him one last time. That's for sure.
But on the flip side of that, Glover Teixeira got to lay his gloves down for the final time in his home country in Brazil. So knowing that that's their final hurrah, they may have extra motivation to put on a show for the fans in their hometown, in their home country, for our pride, and respect thing.
Yeah, can I argue with Matt, or do you want to move on, or do you want to listen to this?
No, Masvidal did the same thing. You know, he was very prideful that his last fight was in Miami. His career started in Miami, and I thought that it was a special moment to see him lay his gloves down in Miami as well.
Absolutely.
But you know what?
No, I'm not
like
disagreeing
it was
with
his
any of
last
that.
fight.
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, what if Teixeira would have won that fight? What if Masvidal would have won that fight? Would he have still retired? Or would he have fought one more time? And then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
When you make that decision already, it's like you're already checking out and you're more, worried's not the right word, concerned, thinking about laying the gloves down in the octagon in your hometown or whatever, than you are about winning the fight. Because what happens if you win? And if you're going to say, well, he still would have retired, then Glover Teixeira would have retired as the champion and thrown the whole division in flux.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Dave, tell people how they can, A, follow you, and B, purchase either this figurine or any of the back orders that may be available.
To put a quick button on Robbie Lawler was probably the second or third bobblehead that I ever made that never got released. I hope one day I can release it and get the ball over the finish line. It's a beautiful piece that I posted it for the first time on my IG. It's the famous pose against him. Against Rory McDonald. You can follow me at MMABobblehead.com. All my social media is MMA Bobblehead. Go check out my Instagram. That's where I'm most active, and you can see some of the behind-the-scenes artwork, and you won't be disappointed.
One more thing for me, and I know one from Matt. I happen to know someone who will be at International Fight Week, who will be at the media day, who will ask Robbie Lawler, what's the status of the bobblehead?
That would be wonderful, and you know, maybe if that person happens to be you, I can hand it off to you so he could see it in person for the first time.
That person will definitely be me.
And with the new Bruce Buffer Audible bobblehead, my only suggestion is when you make the Naked Pizza Man, that it's the first scratch and sniff, smells like pizza aroma, and that would be my suggestion.
A, you're an idiot, and B, Dave, thank you very much. We'll talk again real soon.
Thanks, guys. Naked Pizza. Love you.
Love everybody.
Dave
Love
Manley
that guy.
continues to stick a knife in my back.
The best way to start any show.
Oh, my